Hey, my friends, how are you? Happy New Year? Go gently out there. I am just back from a handful of days spent at a Zen temple in the middle of New York City, of all places. Yes, you can go on Zen meditation retreat in the middle of the noisiest, busiest, most ceaseless cities in the United States, and really lean into that duality that so encompasses our lives, right? The chaos of all the hustle and bustle, and the serenity, the calming of the mind, and the stillness that we can find inside if we just pause to meet it and feel it. When you stay at this temple, you meditate for a chunk of time early in the morning, and you meditate for a chunk of time later in the evening, and sometimes you're meditating for a chunk of time in between. And at each of these sits, prayers are said, and they're led by a cantor. So they're all sung prayers. And the cantor sometimes leads the Sangha, the gathered community, in singing these prayers out loud together, and sometimes the cantor just sings the prayer alone themselves. And I've spent time in this community before. I've heard these prayers on many occasions. And there's a prayer that is said as the closing prayer at the end of the evening meditation. And it's the last thing that the cantor sings, that anyone hears or says before the bell is rung and the evening meditation ends and everyone goes quietly up to their little beds to go to sleep so you can get up early and start meditating again. And yeah, I've heard this prayer before, this gatha. The word for prayer in Zen is gatha, and it's just called the evening gatha. And though I'd heard it before and could really sing along to it in my head as the cantor was incanting it, it was a real zinger for me. I don't know if it was being on the threshold of a new year. I don't know if it's all the time that I've spent this past year thinking about, as I keep talking about in our worship services, how do we orient ourselves in the midst of these very ceaseless and chaotic times. I don't know, but it really struck a chord and a nerve in me at once and has stayed with me, and I think is providing me with a resolution for the year ahead, something I don't tend to do. I think it's really a weird thing that we try to make resolutions to drastically change our lives in the middle of January. I'm sitting here as it's like snowing and sleeting outside, and I don't feel a great desire to like get out there and carpe that diem. But this gatha has provided me with an orientation and intention that I would like to carry forth into 2026. And so maybe it will do the same for you. I wanted to share it with you. I'm not going to sing it. I don't have the resonant voice of those wonderful Zen monk cantors, and I'll just say that this is Zen. These folks aren't messing around, so it's a zinger. And as I say it to you, you might feel a little, so that's okay. Just notice the and maybe even enjoy the if you want. Okay, the evening gatha. It goes like this. Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by, and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Awaken. Take heed. Do not squander your life. Ay, ay, ay. So, the question I'm sitting with as we enter into this new year is, what does it mean to act each day with the intention that I am not going to squander my life, that I am not actively squandering my life? Which brings to mind questions about what is squandering my life and what is not. All good things for us to hold in these times, I think. I'm curious if this resonates with you. I'd love to talk to you more about what that means to squander or not squander your life. I'd also love to talk to you about this word awaken. Awaken, take heed, which in Buddhist context, has its own connotations. But for us, as you use, what does the word awaken mean? Some people, instead of a resolution in the New Year's, they just pick a word. What might it be like to have the word awaken drive your year, offer you motivation and encouragement along the way? I don't know. Maybe as I say all this, you're feeling a great deal of resistance. Maybe you, like me, have moments where you actually want to squander your life. You want to watch some Kardashians and listen to Taylor Swift and eat potato chips. One might say that's not squandering if we're truly savoring it. But if you are feeling resistance to all of that, that is okay. You know what? You are perfectly in line with our January theme, which is the practice of resistance. Another big word. We won't get it. Well, we're going to get into it throughout the whole month. And the Worship Council already is getting into it with the second Sunday of January being led by a diversity of voices from our congregation sharing reflections on the practice of resistance. Thank you, Worship Council, for putting together these first two services of our new year. Blessedly, with much gratitude, Sam, Gwen, and I get the first two Sundays of January off to replenish our wells, nurture our spirits, so we can come back and offer the ministry that will nurture everyone's spirits and replenish your wells as well. And that being said, on January 18th, Martin Luther King weekend, Sam, Gwen, and I will be leading a service on the teachings of that prophetic voice. And January 25th, we'll all be back in the sanctuary as well. Tuesday, January 27th, Lectio Divina at 8:30 in the morning in the gathering room. January 28th, we have a movie night. We are watching, Bring the Tissues. We are watching a movie called Come See Me in the Good Light, all about the journey that poet Andrea Gibson was on through their battle. They didn't like to use the word battle. Through their life with cancer and all the love they gave and received along the way of that journey. That movie's at 6:00. Come a little early if you want pizza to fortify yourself for what's sure to be an emotional movie, but a movie that is getting rave reviews all across the country. And then throughout the month, we continue to meet with other people from faith communities in Cumberland County at the Cumberland County Jail for a vigil for all who are affected by the process of detaining people at the jail right now. Those vigils happen from 2:45 to 3:15 at the gate of the Cumberland County Jail every single Wednesday afternoon. And on February 1st, we have our mid-year meeting, because we'll be halfway through the year, if you can believe it or not. Time keeps moving on. Time swiftly passes by, and opportunity is lost. Let's hope not. Awaken, my friends. Happy New Year. I'm so glad as I strive to not squander my life, I'm sharing my life with you.